Hi, welcome back everybody. My name is Asa and today is another episode. It's time to switch, only key points and only 20 minutes talk. Our guest is Lina Kalash, talented leader with over a decade of experience in recruiting and consulting, CEO and founder of RIST, a talented strategy consulting company. She has been conducting thousands of interviews for near 15 years that have helped countless individuals and organizations with their perfect match. Hi, Lina. Welcome to our interview. I am so thrilled to have you here today. How are you?
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for amazing intro. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm great. Thank you.
I am really impressed by your career journey, and to our viewers, this video created by Career Partner, your support on the first step to a career in tech. And yeah, let's get right into it.
Great. So today we will talk about the common mistakes in a CV, and also we will highlight some patterns and advices for the people who just start their journey, the career journey, and also for the people who are switching from the one type of the career for another. Would love to start from the common mistakes that people put into their resume. I see a lot of resume every day, at least like 100. So I can sum up into like 5 major things, common mistakes to avoid. First one is using two generic statements. Instead of simply stating your responsibilities or things that you were working with on a daily basis, it's better to highlight your achievements in numbers and results. For example, instead of saying, I was working in a sales department, you can say that I increased sales by 20% through the effective marketing campaigns. This is the common mistake that I see often, because if you're mentioning the things that you're just doing on a daily basis, it's not making your CV stand out from the crowd. And normally we as recruiters see a bunch of resume in the same time. Second common mistake is visual overload. I know that there is a lot of templates that you can use. And of course, I highly recommend to use some sort of the templates because it's making your life easier. But remember that cluttered CV can be distracting. You should stick with a clean, professional, simple design just to highlight your qualification. The main reason for that is strictly technical. Companies are using ATS. It's an applicant tracking system. Applicant tracking system is not screening your CV as it is. It's parsing the information into specific fields. So we as recruiters see your CV differently that you send it to us. More visual overload, more visual patterns, effects, too much bottom lines, or even too much of photograph space on a document, it can make it difficult for the ATS to parse the information. And we can just simply lose some part of your CV and information for the screening purposes. So it's better to make it clean, slick, professional, and don't use the overloaded templates. Third part is keywords. I think that you as a person that is using internet have an understanding how the keywords are working. So keywords is the set of the specific words that you need to mention in your CV to be more legit for some specific job descriptions. So don't ignore the job description itself and adjust your CV by using the keywords. For example, if you're applying for the customer success role, you need to mention more than once the customer success as a keyword, same as English level proficiency or the experience with some specific technologies, tools, etc. Also, ATS, applicant tracking system, is tracking those keywords. More relevant keywords more chances that you will be successful into parsing into the applicant tracking system and seen by recruiter. Skipping the summary is the fourth common mistake. I would say it's one of the most important parts of your CV, actually, because according to research, recruiters are viewing resume in the F letter pattern. So basically, everything that is on the beginning of your CV is the most important, because your eyes are going through the content in this specific directions. Up top of the CV and then left margin. So you need to utilize the left margin as the main part of your responsibilities and all the generic statements that you have and the experience, and also the beginning of the CV, which is the sum. So you need to add summary to every CV or even every follow-up that you're writing to recruiters or to the company. What to write in the summary, you need to highlight your key skills and experience. So basically, you need to summarize everything that you have in your background that will look interesting for your potential employer. And additional point that is not a common mistake, but the thing that I would recommend to avoid is that latest research are saying that 75% of the applicants are using AI made CV to apply for the jobs. So what I would recommend to be more competitive, but by creating your own CV and just check with the ChatGPT for common mistakes, or if you lack of some sort of a keyword, but make your CV standoffish by writing it with a human language. That's the main common mistakes and some advices that you can use to create a better and more competitive CV.
That sounds really great. And, we often hear about things to include, but what are some of the biggest mistakes? People don't talk that much. So it sounds really perfect to me. And I think we are ready to move to our series examples. And I've got a first question for you. What should someone with no experience in a specific industry focus on when crafting their CV?
Great question. For those who are switching the career or starting the career, definitely you need to master the art of storytelling. You need to explain your path. You need to explain your study path, and your career experience, even if it's just the internships or some work in a university, volunteering work. You need to know how to storytell this experience, because what some people who are entry level or changing a career forget that every experience is an experience.
That sounds really great. Okay, so we can move on to the CV examples.
Right. Yes. Let's check Maria CV. Maria is a switcher. Maria is starting her career path, changing her type of the role. As you can see in the CV, she's aimed to find a job in a junior QA engineer, quality assurance engineer, and her previous background is in a client management and client support. What is important that we can see straight away? First, F pattern is working, right? We see that the summary is up from top, that the left side is utilized, most important information is where it should be. What I would like to highlight, first, skills. The skills are a keyword. They are perfectly highlighted. You can see what types of technical skills Maria already gained through her master in law and through additional courses and trainings as the manual QA in Chile, right? So the focus on the skills is important, because despite the fact that you don't have a work experience in this specific field, you're applying for a junior role. So that's okay to highlight the skills that you are familiar with during your studies. Next thing, leveraging all additional courses and trainings in the right way. So Maria stated that she have a training and certification in this specific area. Also, if you will check the work experience, you can see that she mentioned transferable skills, right? She focused on the skills that can be useful for a new career from her previous job experience. Super important, nice to have, perfect thing to do. What I would like to recommend in this case, summary. As I mentioned, is one of the strongest parts of your CV, is the part that is presenting you. And in case if you're changing the career, switching the career, that's the part where you need to highlight that you're eager to learn, that you can onboard quickly, and why this specific industry or career spotted your interest, right? So that's the place where you use your storytelling and explain why you're a good candidate for this role. Nice to do is to take something from your work experience and use here these transferable skills to highlight that you already prepared for some part, partially, right, for this type of job. What also I would recommend to consider creating more simple template, use more simple template, or create more simple CV structure. A lot of dividers, too much of bullet points, different colors, it can be overwhelmed. Also, personally, I recommend not to use photo in a CV because for the biases reason, right? Photo can strike a lot of biases, and you don't want the potential employer to make any decisions based on how you look or how you present yourself. You added the LinkedIn profile. Basically, that's your social media, professional social media, and you use your picture there. And that's totally fine, totally enough for employee to go and check. So again, some of the ATS, applicant tracking systems, they fight against biases. So they will try to delete your picture from your CV. And there is a lot of chances that some of the data can be also deleted by parsing. So better to exclude a picture from the CV. That's my major comments. It's nice to add the hobby, but I would probably also avoid this type of content, because if the hobby is not directly applying to the role that you're applying, it also can cause some sort of a biases. So I would rather avoid adding that you're watching Netflix to the CV.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I believe it's gonna be really helpful for Maria. And for those with no formal work experience, I think crafting a competitive resume can feel like really, really challenging. And what do you think, like what key areas should be the focus to make sure your CV still stands out?
I would say that the main focus should be adding all relevant studies or work in your desired field. It's not strictly required to be a commercial experience. It can be a pet project, volunteering work, internships, field of studying, anything that is relevant for your next career step. That's the main focus that you need to have when you're writing your CV.
Perfect. And now I think we can move on to another CV for students, right?
Yes. So when we are talking about the entry-level candidates, especially students, it's a little bit different, his story, right? And a great example is Елизавета, who presented her CV for this conversation. I would say that in this case, you can showcase your volunteering work as the first thing before even any work experience, right? You need to leverage your projects. You need to demonstrate any practical application of the knowledge that you learn through your work in a university, through your studies in a university. University is a long period of time, and for sure you're studying a lot, but if you're not demonstrating the practical application, it will be not easy to identify your potential and your skills. So you're doing a lot of lab tests, you're doing a lot of pet projects while you're studying university. So that's what you need to mention in a CV straight away after your summary. Then highlight any certifications that you obtained, any qualifications, industry recognitions. So anything that can help you to stand up in a crowd of a lot of students and entry-level specialists. One thing is when you have the degree, MBA, the other thing when you have already the certifications that can recognize that you have some sort of the practical experience. In terms of the CV of Yelizaveta, first thing, I really like the slick minimalistic design. It's easy to read, it's easy to navigate through all the parts of it. Certification are highlighted into the main left part of the CV. That's a great approach because that's what will cut the attention, main skills and certification. In case you're entry level, that's what you want to do. You want to highlight those things first. And important thing is to add your achievements. It can be anything. It can be recognition from education. It can be pet projects that you were participating in, volunteering experience, anything that also can support this certification and recognitions would be nice to have. And if we will check with the previous advices for the career switchers, right? Those people can already show the transferable skills, right? They can show some achievements in terms of the leveraging and numbers, increase in 20%, change this. They can show and highlight the types of responsibilities and achievements that they have already in their commercial experience. So in case of the student and entry-level candidate, it's nice to take all your experience from the university and highlight it into the achievements. It's really helpful. I really like the summary, short, sweet, focused on the eagerness to learn, showcasing the skills, the desire to obtain the specific role. So nicely done. Also, you need to understand the job description to add some specific requirements and explain, do you have this sort of experience in terms of Yelizaveta, she's applying for content writer. It means that languages is super important. That's the thing that she needs to highlight. That's why it's on the left side. And that's why it's detailed with all the languages that she's using and what proficiency level they are. So great CV. I like the structure and I like that all main things that would help to stand out are mentioned.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I believe it's also going to be helpful for Yelizaveta and to all our viewers to adopt those suggestions from you. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning into It's Time to Switch. Unfortunately, that's all time that we have for today. And if you're ready to switch, tap the link in the description and take the quiz. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment who you want to invite next, and hit the notification bell for more insightful conversation. Until next time, bye!